What's up, everybody? So, on this episode of On the Down Low, we're going to be talking about traveling and adventures. So, again, it's your boy Mike.
Hi, I'm Molly.
And guess what? Guess where we're at? We're at my suite. So, I think we're trying to do things a little more adventurous and, just do podcasts and talk about things as we move, as we, do things.
Yeah, I think a big part of what we love most about being in business and running our own show is not only time freedom, right, but also location freedom. So we can decide to be wherever we are in doing what we do for our business. Now,
Yes.
obviously for Mike, it makes more sense for him to be here at the shop, right? But for me, I can go anywhere, right? So like we just had brunch this morning, spontaneously.
Yeah. So shout out to Brunchberry. They got the best chicken dumpling soup.
That's all you want. You want like 3
That's it.
servings.
Yes, I want a big ass bowl of the chicken dumpling soup. They got the best.
So starting out with that though, when you and I first got married, you were really
Yes,
hesitant.
yes. Oh
Like you
my
didn't
God.
want to travel. Like
I-
every time I would say, "Hey, we should go here," and you were like, "No,
Dude.
no."
Okay. It's because, like when I think it's just a lot of it had to do with like growing up to me and my family going to vacation was going to like the farm. Going to spend time with my cousins at the farm. Going, at a fishing picnic over at, like that river by the farm where we would catch fish and just cook it fresh and, chill there all day. But yeah, as when we got married, I think our first trip was Florida, right?
What, you and me
Fort Myers?
by ourselves?
Yeah. Was it Fort Myers?
Well,
think-
no.
Our first actual vacation.
Okay, so let's take a step back, okay? Because
Mm-hmm.
to your point, I think you and I have very different
Yes,
definitions
agreed.
of what adventure was, what vacation was. I feel like, now mind you, when I was growing up, vacation for us was camping at Devil's Lake, Wisconsin Dells, Six Flags. That would that
Florida. You-
we'll know.
Well, you didn't go.
We didn't know because my parents took my siblings when I was like 22. So up until that point, we really didn't like travel in the way that I think we define travel today,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like let's just take a quick step back because even when you and I first got married, our first year, I'd be like, hey, do you want to go back to Madison? Like, let's go to Madison today. And you'd be like, why?
Why?
You were. But why? But why? Well, you were like so resistant.
Well, I mean, I don't think I was that bad about going back to Madison. I think it was more traveling further that
Like,
was
yeah,
making me a little bit more nervous.
why?
Because like how bad things can be for being in the wrong areas. You know what I'm saying? Like you just want to be safe.
But who grew up in the hood?
I know that's why, because you don't want shit like that to happen.
But that doesn't make any sense. Like you grew up in so much, I don't know. Anyway, so fast forward, I do think that the very first airplane trip that you and I
Was Fort
ever
Myers, I
took,
think.
I think it was Fort
Well, we
Myers.
went to visit my parents in Colorado, but that ain't
That doesn't
vacation.
count, you know.
That's not a vacation.
No,
so-
no, like I always joke around, right? Like my mother-in-law is such a good cook, but we never see anything outside of their dining room table.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't. That's it. That's as far as
Love
we
you,
go.
Mom. Thanks for all the food.
But we don't go anywhere. We don't see anything. And I was telling Mike that I'm like, for the first, I would say 5 to 10 years of our marriage, the only thing we saw in Colorado was my in-laws' house.
Yeah.
We didn't go anywhere. You never took me anywhere. You never took me to go see. We didn't go. We didn't go
How'd you-
hiking. We
after-
didn't do anything.
After Mom's food, you would fall into a food coma. Like there's no escaping that. Food coma was on his way.
I mean, I understand that. But anyway, I'm somebody that, okay, like, for just like Hanya Kana, okay? I thought that we were going to travel, that we were going to spend our newlywed years, traveling, enjoying each other. I thought we were going to like spend our money on us, but somebody had other plans.
What did I spend the money on? I didn't spend on nothing.
You spent money on your kid. You wanted to have a baby. That's what we spent our
Oh, I
money
mean,
on.
that's just life. That's
No,
bound to
but
happen.
well, yeah, but we got pregnant like within the first year of our marriage. We literally couldn't travel or anything once I got pregnant.
Right.
Okay then. And now we're trying to make up for the most of it. But yeah, I do think that our very first trip was to Florida. It
Yep.
was to Fort Myers, and I think once we started, okay, can you explain to like why you're a type of person? Okay, here's the thing about Mike. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. He hates the idea of everything new until I convince and coerce him to do it. And then he's like, this is so cool. We should do this again. And we should bring everybody with us. We should bring
Okay.
our family.
Yeah.
We should bring the kids.
Because it's a new place. You're skeptical. You want to make sure it's safe. So no, but you know how like you just never know. You just never know. So we
I'm
had
an
a-
optimist. You are a pessimist. I'm the type of person, I always see the good in everything. I'm like, no matter where we go, bad things could happen, but nobody's trying to manifest that shit into reality, right? I'm trying to
I
enjoy
gotta
my
be
life.
prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever. Anyway, but we really did love Fort Myers.
Yeah.
I think that was for those of you who aren't familiar with the Florida map, okay? So you know how like let's say like
It's on the East Coast, right?
no,
East side.
yeah,
of Florida.
No, it's the west side.
Is it the west?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, towards the
Miami,
left.
Miami is on the east. I don't know how you guys are seeing this, right? But let's
Gulf.
just say
The
like
Gulf is on the opposite
Miami's
side.
over here, Fort Myers is on the other side,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you still get the sandy beaches, you get, all of the things that Florida is known for, but I remember him just being like tooth and nail fighting me because he didn't want to go. And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to buy the damn ticket. And if you go, you go. If I'm going by myself, I'm going by myself. I'm a type of person, vacation to me has to be warm. It has to be tropical. I'm a Cancer, so I love water. So everything that I do has to be like sun, beach, sand, tropical. I want to eat and drink tropical everything. Like that to me is vacation. Right? Do not take me to go skiing or snowboarding. That is not vacation. I might as well just stay here in Wisconsin. Why would I go anywhere else? There's plenty of snow here.
Not enough here anymore. I mean,
Well,
it's
yeah,
been
but
pretty
it's
mild.
but it's still cool. Like for what? If I'm gonna spend my money, I'm gonna invest. If I'm gonna invest my money on a vacation, that's where it's gonna go, right?
Yes.
So, with that being said, let's shift the conversation. What would you say is the kids' favorite vacation?
That's an easy one. For them, it's the cruise.
And the very first time I told you I wanted to go on the cruise, how did you respond?
I was like, hell no. Didn't you see Titanic? Shit. And then I told her, I said, if there's any fish bigger than me in the motherfucking water, I'm not fucking going.
And of course, it's the ocean. No, the very first time you and I went on a cruise was when I was still working in corporate. I was working for a tech company, and it was, I got my Christmas bonus, y'all. Okay, I got my Christmas bonus, and I was like, I don't care. Same thing. This is the thing with this dude. You just have to do it, and then he just comes along for it. He doesn't plan anything. I'm gonna tell you right now, ladies, if you have a man who can like plan your vacations, who can help you ideate and like really help, that is such a blessing.
It's always one or the other, because, we know people that the husband plans. We know people
Yeah,
that
yeah,
the
it's
wife
true.
plans.
It's
So
true. It'd be nice
there's
if you
never
did
a,
it,
there's
but it'd be
never a couple
nice.
that's like they both would.
It'd be
But,
nice.
Hey, I always lend a hand though. I'm like, hey babe, like I can help you plan, all this shit. But she just a control freak. So she's like, no, this her face, no.
That's
no,
not true. That's
no.
not true.
I'm doing
That's not true.
everything.
It's not true.
I'm doing everything.
Because you know the reason why though? Because he doesn't care and he makes mistakes. And the last thing
and no
we
one's
need,
no one's perfect.
but on a vacation
I
where
didn't
we're
make
in the middle
mistakes.
of
I
nowhere.
don't make mistakes. You know why? Because that Backstreet Boys shit that so that when I bought the Backstreet Boys thing, was it Backstreet Boys?
Yes, it was a Backstreet
Yeah,
Boys
and I
concert.
bought insurance. That shit is not.
It was not worth the
It was
insurance.
yes, it
It
was.
was not worth the insurance.
It's a Backstreet Boys. That was your life dream to go to the concert, and I was able to do that for you.
Anyway.
But yeah, that's an adventure too.
Yes, my kids. So the very first time we went on a cruise was, oh gosh, I don't know, even what, 10 years now? I feel like maybe 8 to 10 years. I feel like
Yeah,
something
we
like
go
that.
every year, and the kids
As much as we can.
Yeah, the kids already like I
That's
can't-
their favorite thing.
January 1st, 2026 comes. I can't wait
Yep.
for my cruise.
Yep, that's their
dog,
favorite.
You need to chill.
That's their favorite. I think for those of you, like, this is our experience. I feel like I not to make the conversation like heavy, but I feel like because, like I told Mike all the time, we all carry a lot of trauma from our, our parents' generation. I don't think that anybody is exempt from having trauma. And I feel like a lot of the times we grew up in on a house where, at least, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for us, like, my parents knew that they couldn't take us on an airplane. Like, we couldn't all just go on a plane. We knew, they were very, very open with us that even when they did finally take my brother and my sister to Florida, it was a road trip. It wasn't like they could afford to spend flights, like they would rather road trip it out there, and I feel like, as parents, that's one of the things that Mike and I try our best to heal from. And we want, at the end of the day, we want to give our kids what we never had. And I mean, isn't that the point of parenting?
Yep.
Right. And so I feel like, the other day we were having dinner and Brielle said to me, "Mom, we are a traveling family." And it's true.
That girl's crazy.
Right, but you can't say that you aren't happy that she feels that way.
So I am very happy that they're exploring the world. I'm very happy that they're going out and getting to see things, getting to see different parts of the world. Because honestly, when you go to when we go to a cruise on the Bahamas, right, and we get off the boat, and it's very humbling to the kids to make them understand that they're very fortunate what they have in life.
Yeah.
Compared to where those people are in that area, they would probably trade places within seconds just to be, that fortunate.
Yeah, and even that, I feel like, I'm sure you guys can all agree, is it's through experiences that your children learn faster than even them sitting at school. And so while school is very important to us, my kids will never, ever, ever get the perfect attendance award. They never will, because we take them out of school to travel with us. We want them to have family time. We want them to see, like Mike said, see the world, experience the world differently. One year, I think Brielle was maybe 2 or 3. And so that would have meant that Tyson was 2 years older, and then Madden was 4 years older than Brielle. We took them I think we went to Fort Myers. Or was it Daytona? Oh no, I think it was Daytona. It might have been Daytona.
I think we went to Daytona first, and then we took them to Fort Myers after.
Yeah, well, in one of the Florida trips that we took them to a marine zoo.
Yeah, that was Daytona.
Yeah, or the marine. What did they call it? Oh my God, I can't talk. Preservation. There we go. Yeah.
I remember it was hot.
Yeah, it was hot. It was hot, but it was cool because they learned more going to that marine park than they ever would if they were sitting in school. Like, if you ask them and like, so what did you learn in science today? And they're like, but then we'll say, hey, so do you remember that vacation that we took to Florida and we took you guys and you guys got to see the manatees and then you guys got to play the stingrays and like all that stuff. They're like, yeah, this is what they said, and did you know? And like that, you cannot dismiss moments like that where that the experiences that your children have stay with them and they remember that, right? For educational purposes, right? And like for all of my fellow Hmong parents who maybe you guys haven't taken your kids out yet, or maybe you're planning on it, highly recommend, like Mike and I are really biased, but we highly recommend that you guys try a cruise first. There's pros and cons to it. What would you
Yes.
say are some of the pros and cons?
Oh my God. I mean, you don't have to go anywhere. The amount of activity and fun that they have just for the kids alone, it's endless. And then you got the best bang for your buck because it's all you can eat. Like, let me tell you, we get off the boat like 20 pounds heavier. I mean, that's all we do is eat and then go, you know what I'm saying? Go chill on the boat and enjoy the weather. And like they got so many things to do at night. They got so many things to do in the morning. Like it's just very versatile to everybody,
Yeah, so
all
I'm
ages.
gonna talk to my fellow Vigneault, okay, who if you are like me and you're the planner for vacations and your husband don't do nothing besides just show up and maybe help you pay for the vacation, okay? Here are some tips and tricks and some best practices that we would give to you if you guys are considering going on your first family vacation. Number one, the cool thing is a lot of cruise lines offer 0% financing. Okay, so you do not need to. You of course could do Affirm or like those uplifts and stuff like that they have, like the buy now pay later payments. But a lot of them, like as long as you put a deposit down, which is usually about $100 per person, it's you reserving that cabin as a non-refundable deposit. And then you like if you're gonna plan on doing this a year out, then you take the amount and you just pay it every month. You take the total amount, and usually they need full payment. I want to say 60 days before or something like that, 60 or 90 days before. But if you think about it, like 0% APR, absolutely, right? So just like what I did when I got my first Christmas bonus and I told Mike we're going, I literally just paid in full because we did a very unique cruise. It was only it was 3 days, two
Hmm.
nights, and it was over Christmas Eve. It was like the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and then we came home on
Yep.
Christmas Day. And so that was a special. And another thing from a planning perspective too is just like Mike said, everything's all inclusive. So you have to think of it like this. Like I know that you guys are looking at that price, like you're like, oh my gosh, like it's like thousands of dollars, like depending on how many kids you have. Yeah, for us, typically when we go on our family cruise, and we usually go because we're taking the kids out of school, so we don't want to take them out too long. We usually go for 3 nights. 3 nights. It's a 3 night cruise.
It's a 4 day.
Yeah, and so we typically go over the weekend so they don't miss too much school. So the way that we coordinate this, which fun fact, hurricane season, y'all, do not ignore hurricane season, especially if you don't know if you're gonna have seasickness. If you think you're gonna have seasickness, like if you know that like, I don't know, if I might get kind of sick, do not go during like hot hurricane season. We always go at the end of October, right around Halloween, November, December, and January. Sometimes early February around Valentine's Day, but very rarely do we go. I think we went once in February, and it was okay.
Yeah,
It was
it
okay.
wasn't bad.
Yeah,
It
it was
wasn't bad.
kind of
You can
choppy.
feel it. You
Yeah,
can feel it when we
yeah,
were, sitting down at dinner
yeah.
time and stuff like that. You can feel the boat kind of
Like
rock.
yeah, Madden out of the five of us he has more motion sickness than everybody else,
Man, he
and
was
so
hungry. He did not motion sickness.
he did. He
Dude was
did too.
hungry.
No, you could tell his
He
eyes
was
were
like,
like.
damn, my stomach.
Yes, but those are the things that like you might think, yes, it's a few $1,000s, and it is. I mean, you're paying for all inclusive. And if for me, I think like Mike and I, when we first started cruising, we went through Carnival. And it was fun. And we took the kids once on
Our
Carnival.
first time was okay. It was fun because it was just me and her.
Yeah, yeah. So the party scene was okay because it was just Mike and I. This when we took the kids, they were a lot younger. But when your son at that time, Madden was like, I don't know, I want to say he was like 7 or 8, and when he's looking at you because there's a lady twerking in the pool, and he said, "What is she doing?" That's a cue that you're like, oh my God. And I was telling him, like, don't look. We were eating pizza. Okay. We were eating pizza on the Lido deck. And there were, which is cool. Like, I think it was like a bachelor party or whatever. That was her working in the pool. I was like, oh my God. Okay. Don't look, we prefer Royal Caribbean. We haven't gone on Disney. Right now my kids are just too old. I do not want to invest that level of money when my kids are so much older now. If your kids are still younger and they love the Disney magic, highly recommend that you do that. I heard really, really good reviews. For us, I was telling Mike, I'm like, one day we need to go on a Virgin cruise because it's adult only. I think that would be fun. But our kids will never ever let us go on a cruise without them now. So Royal
Yep.
has been our go-to. And if you guys are wondering too, and another reason why we pick Royal is because if you go to one of their cruises that includes their private island, Coco Cay, it's included in the price. So you don't have to pay extra. Whereas if you take Carnival, not only do you have to pay for the
Excursions.
Yep, not only do you have to pay for the room and board, but you also have to pay for any excursion. So like if you want to go off the boat and you want to explore, they have a lot of like
Yep.
itinerary things, but it's all extra,
Yeah,
right?
but
So
don't buy none of the food off the boat though, man. Brielle got me buying her a $40 drink. I said, girl, that'll be the best goddamn drink you ever had in your life.
it was like a frozen like mango
like-
slushy
yeah,
almost
yeah,
like
yeah,
kind of thing. But I mean, so like I just feel like for us, our kids go and I'll be honest, last year we didn't get a chance to take them because we were so busy just doing what we needed to
Well,
do.
we
and
did
it
we
just-
did family trips.
we
last
did,
year,
but
so.
we didn't do our annual
Yep.
cruise, and they're still waiting to go. And I think we're gonna probably take them on 2 this year to make up for it. But yeah, cruises is a really great way, and I just feel like it's one of those things where you can't knock it until you try it.
Yeah.
And we always try to have our siblings and our nieces and our nephews all come with
Yeah.
us because
Yep.
it's great. It's a wonderful thing, and it's always about timing. But now that football's in season,
Yeah, football's in season.
It's-
I'm helping out
yeah,
coaching.
it's a lot.
It's
It's a
gonna be a
lot.
lot.
from a scheduling perspective.
Well,
but
it's perfect because football ends in November, October.
yeah, and the last thing I'll say here on travel too is like I understand where Mike's coming from, where he's like concerned about the there's a lot of global politics that's happening, and I understand that, right? But another example is he was so like unbelievably resistive to Mexico. Like I was telling him, I'm like, why can't we just go to Mexico? Everybody goes to Mexico. It's fine. Like it can't possibly be that. He refused to go to Mexico until almost 3 years ago that he finally gave in, only because we were invited to a wedding. And I was like, listen, if you don't go, I'm going. It's the same thing. Like, if you don't go, I'm going. I don't care. I'm going. And he's like, fine. And now what? What do you think about,
I thought that was it's definitely not what the media says. Where we were at was very nice. It was very nice. I would definitely go back.
Yeah, we stayed at Planet Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood. And,
Yeah. Yeah, in Cancun.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was wonderful.
Yeah, it's a newer resort too, which is cool. And yeah, it's just like stuff like that. Like I just feel like being Hmong American, that's one of the things that we want to do is we want to see the world, right? Don't you feel like I feel like our parents don't see enough of the world?
Their world is going from Milwaukee to Eau Claire, Milwaukee to Colorado. It's just that's
Well, my parents traveled pretty well. My parents, they did a whole, like, it was almost a month. They did a whole road trip across the whole
Yeah.
US. So my parents like to travel. They recently went to Hawaii. They went to Vegas. So my parents travel a lot. Your parents, on the other hand,
no, they don't travel much. They have everything in their
backyard.
backyard. Yeah. My dad's got a petting zoo back there. So
It's true. So, yeah, highly recommend it.
Travel.
We'd love to hear what are your favorite ways to vacation. Like I said, I know we're biased. We're a cruising family. That's one of the things. Like, if you ask me what I want to do, we're gonna say we're gonna go on a cruise. Like it's easier. It's just easier. It makes
Yep.
more sense. You got more bang for your buck. I don't gotta worry about who's eating what. Everybody can have whatever they want to
Yeah,
eat whenever they want to eat. The food's always there. Yeah, so it's so much easier as a mom for me to enjoy myself, because I don't have to worry about where we're gonna eat. I don't gotta worry about everything else,
Yep.
and everything's there. So, but we would love to hear your tips and tricks as well. Anything else, babe?
I think that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, then. With that being said, we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
See ya.